Okay, I assume we're live by now. Yep, it looks like we're live. So we got a microphone, we got a camera, we got some lights. Now all we need is some chat messages. I saw one before from Mark, but it's got a naughty word in it, so it won't show up in top chat. But I agree with the sentiment. Let's get going. Let's do this. So how is everyone out there? Now, today, I don't have a hard deadline to get off streaming, so I reckon we can go as long as there's ideas and energy. And it's 3 degrees here, so 3 degrees, 3 Celsius in Fahrenheit. What's that? No, 37. Oh yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, that's low. Yeah, so it being 3 degrees, my fingers are froze. Hey, we got a like. Thank you. Which means people are watching, which is cool. My desk is really getting cluttered. You know, there's this thing where you clean the room and you get all set up how you want. Hey, Mark. Hey, I am in Melbourne, Australia. DJ Doms, how you doing? That just reminded me that I need to make a note for something to do later. Let me... Cool. Yeah, I'm in Melbourne, Australia. It is 3 degrees right now, or 37 in the weird Fahrenheit scale. So I don't know what we work on today. There's a couple of options. Nah, I kind of know what we're going to work on. Let's just do it. We're going to work on that deep liquid track, and we are going to just absolutely smash it. So we're going to do some boring admin and fix some routing and regrouping and get rid of like the 15 different side chains. Just tidy it up. That will be like a really boring half hour, and I'll try and talk as much as possible so that it's not super boring. And then once we've tidied it up, we're just going to go super hard on getting it finished. Because I think it's so close to finished. There's no need for this to drag out and for us to just keep working on it week by week. I reckon if we put a solid hour or 2 into it, it can be done. Maybe 4 hours, but we'll see. Hey, Julie, how you doing? So let me grab a notepad. And we're going to Pomodoro this, which means we're going to just do little 25-minute probably sections, like 25-minute work intervals, and then have little 5-minute rests. And we're just going to repeat that cycle over and over. I need a good Pomodoro timer for Windows. I used T-Mech on my Mac. Is T-Mech cross-platform? Yes, cool. Windows. Save file. So yeah, this is the sort of stuff I meant that we're going to do some boring admin. You guys get to watch me install software. Pretty exciting. Almighty. Oh my goodness. It's going to make me download Java. Java, Tiny, download. Which Java do they recommend? All right, we're giving up on that. We're going with the website, which I think I used the other week. TaxCore DnB. Jeez. What on earth is that? All right, so we've got this web-based timer. We're going to use it instead of the little pop-up one. I don't know if there's a good way to get this to a smaller screen so I can have it visible. Oh, my screen's gone, hasn't it? Let me reconnect and try and get my screen back. I really didn't realize that had happened. I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. In theory, I'm back. Sorry about the black screen for a minute there. Okay, so Tidied. All right, we're going to use this. Oh, it has a countdown timer in it. I know it counts how long I've been live, but I need a separate timer. Oh yeah, this has loaded. Cool. So yeah, I'm going to try and fix up the grouping and the routing in this. So groups, routing, flatten. So I'm going to like try and flatten out the routing because I think it's all a bit tangled up at the moment. So that involves remove all sidechain comps, break instruments into own groups, big sprawling mess, regroup everything. So that's what we're going to try and get done in this next 25 minutes. We're just going to, oh geez, bit of reflux. Weird. I'm chewing some gum, so that's probably not helping. So yeah, I'm basically going to break this whole tune apart and try and rebuild how it's configured as fast as we can. And then we can get on with the fun stuff. So, headphones, and let's start. So, no, I can't hear that. Man, this is a great stream so far. I need to restart my sound card, which might mean I need to restart the stream, but let's see how we go. Oh, yeah, maybe I can... No, I can't hear that. I need to restart the sound card. Jeez. Okay, so microphone's back. Ableton hasn't figured anything out. Switch it off. Go to ASIO. Cool, I can hear that. And it get, yeah. Sweet, okay, we're up and running. That's how you do technical issues. Okay, so what's in this kick channel? I think it's just kicks. Is there additional effects? It is a little bit, so. Okay, so this is just kicks, which, oh, and filtering. Okay, so that's just gonna have to be what it is for now. Let's get in here and find all of the snares. Which, is it just this? And what's tension bus do? Does all of this go to tension bus? Transition snare. I don't think we use that. Oh, is an audio channel? And it's got an echo in there, but we don't use this at all. Get rid of it. Percussion. What goes into tension bus? All the percussion, all the snares. Not the FX sweep. Does FX sweep get used? It used to. Right, so I think that's just a channel I created that isn't necessary. Okay, cool. So let's look at snares a little bit. So there's multiple snares in here, yeah? Oh, you can't hear the music? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so OBS has glitched again. Okay, I'm going to restart OBS. I'll be back on stream in 2 seconds. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to restart OBS now that live is working, and we'll see if that fixes it. So I'll be back in 30 seconds again. Goodness. Okay, so we are back, and you can hear me, I hope, and there's a snare that you should be able to hear there as well. So there's this little guy here is not the main snare. So hey, cool, sweet. I'm glad we got there in the end. I'm really sorry about all these technical glitches. So let's move snares up here, and I'm probably going to bounce those channels and fix them up, but whatevs. Let's turn all those channels off because we don't need them. And this becomes side snare. And now that all runs through the tension bus, which is not the same, no longer doing, hey, Tiger Lily, how you doing? The tension bus winds up there, but there's nothing in there. So tension bus winds up here. Yeah, I think that's acceptable. So the snare isn't being tensioned, but I don't know if that's... Cool. So now we can rename this percussion. So this stuff that I'm doing now. Oh, thanks, man. All this stuff can move up to this group. I don't know why we've got so many layers of effects, but we can figure that out. So now all of this stuff can just stay going to this group. So it can go to percussion. Cool, and now that routing makes sense to me. Oh, and we've got this percussion channel in here. Cool, that is percussion. It's got some effects on it as well. Oh, these are just the snare layers. Let's just get rid of them. Like, I'm going to be destructive today because we just need to make some progress on this. Save live set as 8. Simplification. Hey, glad you're enjoying the Spotify playlist. But everyone else, Tiger Lily and I had a bit of a chat yesterday on Discord, and I mentioned some of my music, and he was like, I'll check it out. Sounds like it's going okay, which is good. So this percussion stuff here, what does it sound like at the moment? Let's loop that. Oh, okay. So this, it sounded like this filtered, but is that up here somewhere? Okay, cool. So it's these are sidechaining from the kick and the snare. So I'm going to replace those later with a different sidechain. So let's get rid of that. I think this is just taking off the tops. So I don't see any automation on it. Let's get rid of it. And so then we've got these, which I would normally put an EQ on each hat. So is there weird stuff happening in here? Ableton, don't do this. Come on. Yep, thank you. Okay, there's a little bit of stuff happening in here. Let's just keep this group other than the sidechains. That's fine. Okay, so that's all of this stuff. Kind of laid out more how I do it. And we'll be able to undistort that kick sometime soon, which will be sweet. Okay, let's tidy up some basses. This channel not being used, gone. These are all just weird little neuro whip noises. As long as we've got no side chains on here. I'm happy to... Oh, that one's turned off. Get rid of it. So these are mainly copies of each other. So I'm just going to freeze all of these and turn them into one track sometime soon. Not even sure we use that channel. What does it sound like? Okay, so that's like the source noise that we made all those other noises from. I don't think we need it. We can always get it back from an earlier version of the project, right? Oh, the audio streams or streams audio bitrate is lower than the recommended bitrate. I hope that's just an old alert and that you guys can hear me. Right, cool. Oh, and also if I'm just staring at stuff, I guess we're not sending audio. Right, so these guys, there are side chains on here that we need to tidy up. Not too much, that's cool. That's fine. So what have we got in here? Cool, so I've got all of this stuff turned off. Let's just delete it, we don't need it. Okay, so that's basses. I'm gonna hit save. Let's get into this music folder. And so you can see, I hope that what I'm doing is just like tidying up the routing, because I just felt like we had little like bus channels and stuff all over the place. And that's obviously how Elemental works. And I really like his the sound he gets out of it, but it's not how I work. And so I'm finding it hard to think properly about this tune at the moment. So I just want to like make a big mess and just have all of the components of this tune all over the place for a little bit. So let's ungroup this and then I can simplify it how I think about things. I think I probably made that big music group, which I need right now. This is a new vocal bit. So let's make a vocal group. Oh yeah, I can turn up my zoom level a little. I've had a little bit of feedback, but things are a bit small. Sounds fine on your end. Thank you for confirming. Okay, so this is all of our vocals, and I hope we don't have heaps of weird... Cool, get rid of the sidechain. Weird sidechaining. Got an actual compressor. We got a little sidechain there. Let's get rid of it. Okay, do we have... what are these guys? Pro Q, ESR, okay, and another reverb. I haven't missed them, so turned off. That reverb we can just get rid of. So I'm going to have to guess at what the settings were on those plugins. I'll do that later. Cool. Oh, okay, so let's just flatten this because I'm not going to be able to edit it anyway. I can kind of figure that out later. Okay, touch vocal. Oh yeah, okay, I remember that guy. Cool. And then I think I added this vocal, and it's, who knows if it's necessary. Cool. Oh, that didn't take half as long as I thought. I think there's maybe more synth parts in here than there should. Okay, so what's the processing on this group? Ban, which not necessary. Tension. Okay. Okay, so let's group this Atmos in. All right, so that's, these sounds are in one group. We got the dead mousey stuff in one group. Granular pad. That's really cool. Oh, and an audio channel here that doesn't appear to be used. Gone. In a pad. Okay, cool. So let's call all of those like Atmos, because that's, they're not really adding anything melodic to the whole thing. We got this electric piano, which yeah, whoa, which is awesome. And then what's this guy doing? Cool. I call those squiggles, but I don't know if everyone else does. And they're not synths, they're effects. So let's get these Atmos synths out here as well. So we've got this, which is now more sort of synths. Oh, we're getting some structure. And then what's in FX group? So there's no effects on that. This is a noise layer from memory. Yep. This is another noise layer. Texture. FX MIDIs. Oh, I don't know what these are. Fantastic. That's 10 channels we don't need. Cool. Then we've got our atmospheric synths. We've got some squiggles. So this is now more noise. Cool. So I can put all of those in an effects channel. All right, cool. So that's kind of tidied up the routing from how I think about things. So I've been doing some one-to-one lessons with people. So hit me up if you are interested in doing something like that. But someone yesterday was asking me in one of those about how do I structure my mixdowns? And like I was saying, I try to keep it really simple. And I was describing this structure of like I have a kick, a snare, and then I have my percussion group, and then a sub channel if I'm going to have a separate sub, which I haven't decided for this tune. We might end up breaking the sub out. And then basses, maybe a mid basses channel if there is separate sub. Then like you kind of have a separate mid bass channel sometimes, and then synths or instruments and vocals and an effects group. And it just we can talk about rates and stuff offline. I don't want to talk about it on stream, but yeah, can totally sort something out. But the I find that this is a really simple way to kind of group things and get the mix to be as easy as possible. It's like 3 degrees outside, so I had my heater on in here and I'm wearing my jumper, and now I'm overheating. Awesome. So we've certainly simplified this mix down. We've now just got to mix 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 groups Let's have a look at this kick channel as well, because I think we can simplify some of this. Oh, maybe not. I think that that's simple enough. Snares, I reckon we can simplify this, and probably, because we don't, it's not like we treat these separate layers separately at any point. Oh, just there. Do we... Oh, what's happening with the routing? Oh, sends only. Yeah. Right. Nope, we just want you to master, my boy. So this is just main snare, right? So I'm really tempted to rebuild the drums with some, like, resample these into a drum rack and just rebuild all of this, which will make my sidechaining really easy. So let's just do it. There's no sends. There's a tiny bit of send on there. Okay, cool. Main snare, we just want to record one nice hit. Just consolidate that. All right. And then, is there any weird clipping or anything stupid in here? No, we're all good. All right, so we probably don't need that channel anymore, but we do need the timing. And the kick. The kick sounds really woolly and distorted to me. I want to understand what that is. Oh, wow. Okay, we've got some interesting stuff in here. Oh, that's adding a nice little layer. Okay, multiband. Wow, that's making it really punchy. That's cool. Fancy master. I think that's maybe where it's clipping. Cool. ProQ and Satin I don't have. Maybe that's... Okay, so... Oh, there's a slapback. I'm not hearing it. Are you hearing it like just straight after the kick? Like, are you hearing it like... I feel like I can hear it like almost a flamming on the transient. And I would like to tidy that up, but I don't know where that's coming from. Like, yeah, okay, so we're hearing the same thing then. Okay, that's good to know. Cool, well, let's see if I can get to the bottom of it, although I'm not. Let's take a copy of what we got just now. Oops. Input from kick. From the kick channel direct. Yeah, I think it might be the vocoder. Let's turn all of this off and see if it disappears. Hang on. Group all of this. Turn the group off. No, I think it might be built into the sample. Let's get a fresh track. Yeah, I think it's built into the sample. I can't like see it in there. I'm hearing the same thing that you're hearing. Oh, is it stereo maybe? Maybe there's a little bit of left-right? Nah. Is there... do we have weird stuff on here? We do have weird stuff on here, but... yeah, I agree with you. I can hear that same thing and it half bothers me. Let's power on, but we might end up replacing this kick with something else. It still sounds a bit weird and flammy. So we can now get rid of this kicks channel as well because we're going to rebuild it with a drum rack, which we will... find drum rack. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'm sorry if just watching me reroute channels was a bit dull. Normalize these. Yeah, and I'll just delete those channels because we've got the samples elsewhere. Delete that channel because I just added it. All right, so let's go through and put the drums back in place. And you can see, like, I'm just lining up the little pincers here with the original timing. Makes things pretty easy. That over here, get rid of that one on there. Consolidate that. That looks fine. That looks fine. It looks like there's another one. Oh, okay, hang on. Main snare still includes these side. Yeah, I think I just forgot to. Cool. All right, so from there, we can probably duplicate this out. Ooh. One more. Then I think bang, 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 bang. Cool. So we can probably just shading. Oh. All right, and then so we've got a filter, which let's see if it's necessary. And then we've got a bunch of automation in here. So the EQ we care about, that's all baked in now. Baked in. So there's a utility. All right. So the EQ turns on and off at various points. Oh, that's this one. Oh, and the cutoff comes up and down. Okay, cool. So I think I added that just to deal with build-ups. I think I probably added the utility by the look. So I know how I was using that to put together a workaround for the routing being different than I normally deal with. So I'm not too fussed about copying that over. It will be really obvious what's going on. Okay, cool. Cool. So I've already kind of done this. So what I do is I use a drum rack for the main drums, and then I have intro drums. Yeah, as like the other like weaker drums. And the cool thing here is that I can just like make them -3. Already cropped here. So I think that they're not substantially different. Oh, they're quite different. Are they actually separate, different drums? What have I done here? Oh, well, the joy of looking at projects you've been working on for too long. Okay, cool. So that should give us drums. They're probably too loud. Okay, why are we up over 0? What's going on? Why are these... Oh, I had this yesterday and I didn't understand it. But my channel's at 0. This is at 0. Oh, volume. Velocity. Yeah, cool. Turn that down. Right. Cool. So everything should be at 0 now. So currently there's no velocity variation at all. I'm wondering if we will want some at some point. We can deal with that when we come to it. So this intro snare, intro roll. Man, I really like the texture of that snare. Like, there's just no like fundamental to it. It's cool. I think in terms of mix, this sounds okay to me. Maybe we can bring the mains down a little, but let's get in here and bring all the percussion up instead, because I really like mixing things hot. Got to deal with that. That's too much energy up there. So I'm just going to duck it out with an EQ. Feels a little spiky for what it is. Cool, and then we need to bring up all the rest of the volumes pretty much. Yeah, the kick is too punchy. Let's bring it down a little, like 6. Let's move it off to the side and we'll find a similar sounding kick. Or maybe Maybe we'll build one. Yeah, let's see if we can synthesize something. We use kick 2. If we can get something just a bit like cleaner. Updated version, remind me later. Use one of the drum and bass presets. See what we get. Yeah, that noise is too long. Just want to click. Resize. That's my. I haven't used kick too much since I got the new screen, and the new screen is 4K. Resize 200. Yeah. 100's a bit much. 150. Cool. I save that. Yeah, whatever. Cool. Kick 2. Yeah, I really like it. It's so intuitive. Like, it's not intuitive, I guess, because making kick drums is, yeah, like, it's a sine wave sweep, right? It's not hard. You can do it in anything, but just having these curves be adjustable, and like everything about it is nice. Like there's nothing in it where I go, God damn, I wish blah. So like we're way too subby there. Get some. We're way subbier than the other kick. And we probably want a bit of noise. Or even like a live. Oop. Probably want this to be shorter, but we can crop it once. So that feels like a more powerful kick to me. And even that's too clicky. Let's see what that sounds like. Too synthetic, because I like some of the tone of this. Oh wow, look, it's not even on a 0 point. Yeah, so let's keep browsing these live. Yeah, I think that's a cleaner sounding kick. It's certainly got a bit more punch to it. And usually what I would do is resample that back out. So let's just get that done. Oh. Freeze it. We can have a quick look at the waveform, see if it needs to be tidied up. No, I reckon that's pretty solid. Got some nice zappiness. What does that look like next to the original kick, just for sure? Browser. Yeah, cool. So there's a bit more of a click at the start, but it's sort of around the same pitch, which is cool. A bit cleaner overall. It's a little bit longer. Let's delete kick 2 from there. Although let's move it to somewhere else for a second. Cool. Now we can kind of fade this out a little so it's even shorter. No worries. All right, cool. I feel like we've really tidied up the sound of the drums there. It's kind of dumb because you can't judge this stuff until you're further into the process. So like, we might get to the end of today and just be like, nope, we didn't improve things. But like, you just have to go through the process. Cool. That is now main drums. Oh, look, we can replace the drums in the intro drums as well, which will give it a consistent sound across the whole thing. The intro drums, the kick here doesn't need to be as slammed as the main one. Yeah. All right, and so the question comes down to, do I want to muck with the snare while we're at it? Let's just, feels really spiky. But I've not thought that before. Now we can give it a bit more fundamental there, because I think that's where its dunk is. Means we can probably dip a little here. Like, so hard to tell. Let's duck some of this. It's really sort of up here. I feel it's piercing. Let's just go with that. And because it's in an EQ, I can always come back and undo it. Oh, cool. And so the big trick that I've been meaning to get around to, if we grab my wave file sidechain trigger, which is just a click, there's nothing special about it. Yeah. And then we set it to, you got to open like the actual chains and then the IO section, but the sidechain trigger. Oh, actually, before we do this, I think there's a few hits where I've got a hit that shouldn't be there. So where's the, oh, there's the kicks, right? So those all line up. Fine. I'm just I think there's a 1 where I've got a kick in there. Okay. That in here shouldn't have those. Should have that, and that. I feel like the timings, oh yeah, close enough. Hey. Where are you based, Tiger Lily? You were awake all my day yesterday, which makes me think you're based in Australia somewhere. I could be wrong about that. Yeah, it's been so much fun doing this YouTube stuff, gang, while I've got you. So thanks for making it an enjoyable experience. I've been wanting to do videos and streaming for years. I kept thinking it would be terrifying. And I mean, it kind of is, but well, there's not, like, I went from not doing it at all to producing at least 1 video a week and doing a live stream a week very quickly. It was very funny. Like, oh yeah, maybe I'll enjoy it, to like ravenous all the time. Liverpool, UK, wow, yeah. Because you were awake all my day yesterday. You're fully nocturnal. It's like me before I met my wife. Gee. Yeah, I used to, well, I still naturally would gravitate towards being night owl, but I know I'm going to be awake at 6 whether I want to or not. So some sleep these days. Oh, and 6 is overstating it. 7 usually. So I'm just checking the timing of all these kicks and snares just to make sure that I am not putting stuff in where it wasn't in the original. But now that it's MIDI, it's really, and one sample instead of layers, it's really easy to switch it up. So we might actually be able to vary up this pattern a little bit in places. Once we just make sure that we've captured the intent of the original properly, because I would hate to screw up a section and not realize it. Yeah, well, I was terrified about it at first, but it's just too late now, right? Like, bin dippers. What? I don't know what bin dippers is. Yeah, it's just too late now. Like, there's hundreds of hours of video of me on the internet saying dumb shit. Like, too bad. Too late to worry about it. That's pretty cool. kind of helps me get over any anxiety about it. Well, there's videos of me pulling funny faces all over the place. Ain't nothing I can do now. Well, keep going. Cool. Empty that out. All right. Almost done on this bit. When we get to the mixing bit in the next few minutes. Now, I didn't do Pomodoroing at all so far. How long have we been streaming? Like almost an hour, and I just didn't break it up at all. Very stupid. Cool, and then this is the filter out, which I think we just removed the snares. So let's group that. Oh. Switch off all the snares. Bang, 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 bang. All good. And then, so that's this filter. Did we copy the filter down? Yeah, what is bin dippers? Is it like night owl? Is that? Oh, it's a football thing. Okay. But what does it mean? So if I take a quick look at this automation, so that filter, oh, okay, so that's, I don't think that's fine, just copying it in here. Ah. Oh, okay. Is it? I can't tell who's having a lend now and who isn't. I'll believe anything. Yeah, cool. That sounds way better with the filtering on there. This main drums, I don't think the automation is relevant at all, except towards the end. Oh, at the end of the bars, end of the main sections. Okay, so let's get rid of that. You guys are killing me with your crazy, crazy terminology. Oh, so does this? That's not how that went before, is it? There's one way to check. It's up here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think because we've got it in a rack with a snare, that's not going to work. So let's come up with something creative. A little bit more. Yeah, the bin dipper version. All right, I reckon that's okay. And we've kind of copied the intent of the filtering and we've added it to the intro drums. What do we do? Oh man, I'm totally having a break in a few minutes, but sidechain. So we got this little bad boy. And instead of just playing on C2, we can set it to play on all notes. And now, if the kick gets hit, or the snare gets hit, what happened to the trigger? Oh yeah, it moved off that thing. The sidechain trigger will get hit. Oh, it should. Why is it not? All notes. Oh, maybe it doesn't work with the play buttons. Yeah, there you go. So any incoming note will trigger the sidechain trigger. So we mute it. Right, so it's playing super low. Lol. Okay, there's a kick. There's a snare. Let's get the filtering off. But the sidechain trigger is getting hit with each of those. So now we can just sidechain off that trigger channel, and it will sidechain no matter whether a kick or a snare gets hit in that main drum rack, which is called main drums last time I checked, and now I can't see it. Must be further down. 10 main drums. There we go. Cool. I'm just going to color these black so we get rid of them. My visual take on the world. Okay, cool. So now in percussion, we should have a sidechain going. Okay, so let's loop up a little bit. Gonna have a little break after this. So. Cool. Flip. And so that's unsidechained. And that's sidechained. It's obviously leaving some remnants, so let's make it faster. Cool, so we've pulled out a bit and it still sounds like it loses a bit of energy, but overall it makes the mix way easier if you've got less stuff happening at the same time. That sounds not quite right still, doesn't it? Okay. Yeah, actually, good call. Let's, I do have the old one somewhere. And I don't know why it doesn't click, and I've never investigated that. Hang on, let's hit save on this. Let's get to the bottom of that. That sounds like a good little break, kind of outing. Let's find old compressor, because that's what I used to call it. All right, old compressor. Live 8 compressor, we can ungroup it. Let's find a kick drum. Actually, let's find sidechain. Cool. Let's find some noise. White noise. Okay, let's just find an operator because it's faster. I really need to make a file called white noise and then search for it a few times and find the same one and just pull it up in the rankings. I always want just a burst of white noise and I can't find it. Cool, freeze it. Sorry about the burst of white noise, everyone. Rip headphones. In fact, I can probably put a filter on here. 12 dB. Not as piercing. Cool. So let's put the Live 8 compressor in there. Okay, and then we'll take the input from sidechain trigger, ratio huge, threshold way down, release whatever. Alright, and let's duplicate this channel, and we'll do the same thing with the regular compressor. Ratio of 10, threshold all the way down, sidechain input from sidechain trigger, attack on minimum, and what's release at up here? 440. Let's just get them the same. Or minus 40 dB. Yeah, we'll do it with a sub as well, because I don't know if it's gonna, white noise is gonna make the click very audible. I so need a proper break. I'm like gonna search for sine for some reason. Cool. Cool. I will give it some. We'll give it some harmonics just so it's more audible. It sounds super audible on my headphones, but cool. All right, freeze it, flatten it. Brick. Oh, that's a bin dipper right there, people. Yeah. Should have done that for longer. Hang on. Freeze it, flatten it. I swear, we're going to do a bin dipper song in a second, but we're not going to do it. Probably not today. Actually, I'm going to check it on my idea list. Let's yeah, Tiger Lily, excuse me? What's up? That so no clicks there. No clicks there. But this guy. No audible clicks on noise. Very audible clicks on sub. So let's figure out why. Let's freeze these two, because these are the audio versions of the same thing. Will it? Yeah, cool. It took that into effect. What's going on? So the volume's lower. Out. Anyway, so did I screw up the release time? Oh, there's an EQ on the... What's it? And maybe makeup take effect on sidechain signals? I wouldn't expect so. No additional gain. There is this. Probably gonna be off. Get them closer to it. Oh, knee is at 6. 0, so let's put that 0. See if we can get these audio bounces closer to each other. Okay, so there's some difference in how they're behaving anyway. Oh, so it's just something to do with the release time is different. How are we going to deal with that? I suppose we can see the release times in here somewhere, yeah? I'm going to just loop this bit, and we're going to watch the release time and try and get back to 0 between each hit. Cool. Right, so that one's kind of right-ish. And then you can see the curve is different even. Interesting. Okay, so they should look a little more like each other. So duplicate, freeze, flatten. The curves will be different, yeah. But at least they're coming back to full volume each time, right? So is there clicking in this one now? There is not. What about in this one? Yes, there is. Okay, so what's going on? Wow, so that one is fading before... Oh, is there a longer look ahead on this? Look ahead 10 millisecond. Look ahead 0 millisecond. All right, so let's put... So I hope you guys are following along with what I'm doing. Sorry, I'm not explaining what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at why there's a difference between the 8 and the 9 compressors. And so just then it looks like the 8 look ahead is causing it to fade before the actual impulse. So we're not getting a click out of it. But the 9 had no look ahead set, so it had no option but to clamp down. Yeah, I think this is still going to click. Wow. And so it does leave a tiny little tail. You can see it's not quite at 0 still when the impulse happens. But yeah, it does sound better, doesn't it? Yeah, that's what I think, Mark. So I think that yeah, I think exactly that. That if there's no look ahead, it doesn't have an option, or at least it has to fade really fast. It's really interesting that the 8 compressor does take effect early. I wonder, can we control the slope? It'd be really interesting. That doesn't quite control the slope. Yeah, that is a really nicer behavior. I haven't ever just sat... Whoa! Hearing my own voice, disgusting. Yeah, I haven't ever sat here and just done this and had a look at the differences between the two. But you can see the recovery slope is totally different on the 8 versus the 9. I mean, the 9, that recovery slope is much more transparent. It's kind of that S shape compared to this. And I have been of the opinion that clicks don't matter, because the thing that you're usually sidechaining to is a kick or a snare anyway, which has a click anyway. So an additional little digital pop in there isn't going to be a problem. Like, your brain isn't going to go, oh, there's a click. It is going to hear it if it's just naked and there's nothing else to mask it. But if we put a snare in here, like, let's get any random kick. Maybe even that's a good one. And put that in here. I don't think that you can hear the click anymore, but I haven't tested it like this. So let's find out. Now, I think the click is not audible at all in the noise. And I think that that's kind of an example of it being masked entirely. It would be kind of interesting to play noise and sample. No, there's no input delay. Where's the button for that? Down here. So yeah, you can see they're all at 0. I don't like that our signal's been pushed back, presumably 10 milliseconds down here, like duration, yeah, 0009. So like, yeah. I think all round, it's looking like the 9 compressor is introducing a bit of like a delay in the look ahead. I think overall, like this, if you could have this curve with this ducking behavior, be on a winner. So what are the other options? No, we don't get other model options. Yeah, I used to religiously use the 8 compressor, and then I just kind of gave up. Let's see if we can hear the clicks. Put these to reasonable size again. Let's see if we can hear the clicks with a kick and our sine wave. Oh, whoops, we need to turn it. Oh, we definitely can. Interesting. Okay, cool. So what if we layer some noise over this whole thing? Oh, that's a sub, not noise. Duh. Wow, that sounds flammy and gross. All right, and so then let's try my my favorite sidechaining method, the gate, and see if we can. We need to sidechain from sidechain trigger flip. Oh wow. Yeah, we definitely get clicks on gate as well. That's really interesting. Let's just new comp, live 8 comp 8. Just for completeness, so this is live 8 comp new comp 8. Let's freeze this, flatten it. Yeah, so this is why I like gate. Like, you've got total control of how quickly it springs back. Let's delete it. Yeah, and it, like, down to milliseconds. Duplicate, freeze it. So that's why I like using gate, because you can really dial that in, and you know that nothing's impacting here versus the live 8.1. I suppose you can still just adjust the release time. Can you see my gears turning? That's really cool. If we wanted to just sensibly duck this for just like 20 milliseconds, what does that look like if we freeze it? Yeah, interesting. So I think that's kind of the best of both worlds. Except for this flutter up here. I don't know what that's about. In the display here, a bit of flutter there. Yeah, cool. I don't think it's a huge deal. It's really interesting. You might have me sold on moving back to the Live 8 compressor. It handles that really nicely. I assumed that it was handling it the same way that volume shaper does it. So I'll show you volume shaper box. I hope this isn't too nerdy for everyone, but I'm enjoying it. Yeah, so I've got volume shaper, which I bought for a project. I did use it for sidechaining for a while. Then you've got to feed this channel to it. Volume shaper back in. Yes. Anyway, you can see the problem with this. It's just too fiddly. And essentially, the way that you get it to not click is that you have this tiny little bit of fade. And that fade is just a couple of milliseconds. Oh, right. I don't think you need to worry about it. Oh, maybe we can MIDI trigger it? Who knows? All right. Well, that was a very interesting little deep dive. I need a total break for a few minutes because I'm going square-eyed. Let's call it 5 minutes. I'll see you at... go back in 5. Oh, actually, let's call it 10 because I feel like just walking around is going to be important for me. I might even go use my skipping rope. And then we'll continue work on deep liquid. So 10:40 my time. I will be back by then. I will leave you with some music. What do I have on my desktop? Has anyone used Windows Media Player recently? Add to Windows Media Player list.
So you want real, so
All right, let's turn that camera back on. There we are. Hey, thanks, Julie. I did some push-ups, I did some skipping. I feel much more awake. It's good. All right, that's enough of that. So that was a really informative little look at sidechaining. I had fun then. I reckon, who was it that called that? I think it was Doms. I think you were right. It's Live 8 compressor. Time for me to go back to that. Let's just save this in. I need some new directories, but anyway. Sidechain comparisons. Select all and save. Sure. Go back to deep liquid. Yeah, man, totally. Oh, that's the thing, like, yeah, it's been the best thing about all this YouTube and video nonsense is like, whenever I say something dumb, people are like, yeah, well, but you could. And it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hang on, let's test it and find out. And like, yeah, I learned so much. It's awesome. We got to figure out where all these are hiding and get rid of them. I think some are on the, yeah, so like I've replaced that one. Get rid of it. Replace that one. I mean, I'm sure there's small differences in the reverbs I've put on, but I don't know what the originals were, so it's not going to bother me to lose them. Sidechain. Now, I don't think anything uses this channel. It is at -infinite right now, so if we play a good portion of the song, that sounds so piercing to me. Yes. Let's see if we can pitch this kick so that it doesn't go quite so low. Like we can do this with it. Yeah, cool. I've got to work on the overall frequency balance a bit. Why did I switch to here? I switched to here because I don't believe that sidechain return is being used, and it's still at minus infinite. There's a few things still at minus infinite. What's the fastest way to get feedback on all of these? I think it's to... I think if we export... Desktop. I'm pretty sure that if we export, it updates all of those volume meters. I'm not sure about that, but that's my recollection. Oh man, my shoulders are so much looser after actually using them. It's very good. Yeah, cool. Okay, so I found the stream health thing in Chrome while I was waiting for that. That's good. Cool. So I could be watching the analytics on this other screen instead of having no real idea what's going on. All right, come on, finish exporting that audio. Yeah, I changed how OBS is rendering, how it's encoding, and it now uses 30% of one core. I only have 4 cores on this machine. It uses 30% of one of them to encode video. So it's working much better than I expected, but I did wonder if we would have CPU issues. I wonder if that's why this is so slow, or whether it's just pegging everything it can get. Yeah. Oh, it might actually be taking 30% of overall CPU. Seems excessive, but I'll either buy a better video card. All right, so what we wanted to do was to check whether these got updated. And it's kind of hard to say, but definitely there's nothing going through these. Oh, we could also look at every... I'm not going to look at every channel they go on. Let's just get rid of it. But... I pushed the delete key and nothing got deleted. If I delete those, right. All right, cool. So this percussion in here is just so piercing. And that is just a straight up no. What is it? There are filters on here with high resonance or something? It's this. First up, let's not cut the tops out of it. In here, it's kind of manageable. So is there compression on here? No. The compression on here. Yeah, thanks, Julie. I saw your message before about it as well. Yeah, no, thanks. That's awesome. I was really happy with that. I felt like it was a pretty sweet little... I felt like it was a pretty sweet little tune. And I can still hear a few things that I would fix up in it, but it's good enough. I think if you were watching the stream, and I think you were, like I just hit that point where I was like, yep, I'm done with this. It needs to move on. And it's good enough. I feel like that's just overly piercing. I kind of don't want to put automation in place to deal with that, but we're going to have to do it. So if I just chuck an auto filter on, I think that's reasonably subtle. Off, show automation. Thank you. Okay, cool. And we can probably bring it up a little because pretty extreme. So is it still piercing down here? Yeah, it's fine here. Yeah, I feel like that solves a lot of the piercingness in those sections. Oh, what noise is this? Just background? Yeah, cool. Cool. Okay, so what were we doing? We were sidechaining this, and then we got distracted onto brakes. All right, cool. Let's get rid of gate. Let's use our buddy old compressor. Old compressor in here. Right, and I need to resave that. I might call it 5.8 compressor as well. And a red dot on it. I remember it. Yeah, I've got an overly organized plugin folder. So VST3 I can't do anything about as far as I know. VST2s, I've got them all like grouped by what they are, and then new stuff that I've got that I haven't kind of mucked around with or decided what to do with just lives in here. Although not a lot of that's new, it's kind of getting messy again. But I just don't tend to use VSTs too much. Got a whole bunch of crap in here, but yeah, I like the results I get out of the stock stuff. Let's prop some of this to do with some drive. So what I'm listening for there is when I turn the saturator. So what I've done is I was seeing all these peaks. And like, we just don't need those transients. Like these things aren't super percussive stuff. They're kind of background textures. So I wanted to just like crop this whole channel so that it's basically clipped. So I'm using saturator in analog clip just because analog clip is a little more forgiving than digital clip. Digital clip is probably going to sound distorted on this stuff. Analog clip is going to sound less distorted. And I pulled the output down because I knew I was going to drive it a fair bit. So if I just drive it, it'll get louder, obviously. So I brought it down a little because I knew I was going to drive this. And then I drove it too much and I pulled it back until I couldn't quite hear the overdriving too much. And then I flicked saturator on and off to make sure that it doesn't change the apparent volume. But you can see we've gained all this headroom by not having those pokey transients on all these hats and percussive elements. So we've got more headroom for our kicks to sit in now. This snare is sounding just a bit lo-fi or something. I'm wondering if this EQ is wrecking it. I think it might just be too loud. What's a good way to tell? Yeah, I think it's just too loud. It's sticking out of the mix a little bit. So there's a few options because I turned this kick down as well when I was mucking around with it before. So let's put it back up. We might bring this whole channel down. 6. Thanks, man. I don't know. I didn't like super love that the first place one, but I can understand why people would because it had so many twists and turns and variations and stuff, and I felt like it had a really strong presence and like that like jungle vibe, which like isn't my thing, so I can't tell when it's good or like I really like old jungle, but like mid-90s jungle, and I like it because of who I was and where I was and how I came across it and stuff. But yeah, like, so I don't really get it, so I can't comment on it. And also, like, of course I like my own things, like everyone likes their own stuff, so I know that like I can't judge how other people feel about my stuff, because it's not really about, like, after you make it, it's not about you anymore, it's about where it goes after that. So you just don't really get to have an opinion anymore, which is fine. Put it down. I reckon we can even fade that snare a little. Maybe it's just a little long. Which, maybe it needs its reverb back on. Look, I think that snare is good enough. Let's just leave it. But I did remember that we need a tiny touch of that on it. What is that? That is short verb. So can we hear the difference? I vote that you can't even hear that. I'm not putting it on. put it back on that channel so that later that it was there. So our percussion is now ducking and it's limited. Sweet. It's time to limit some basses. Actually, let's leave basses for later. Synths. What's synths doing? Yeah, so I've put span and mixoscope on the other screen. I'll bring them over when I'm using them, but it's just easier than not have them in the way while I'm working. You can see how low this is. So I am wondering if we can just not have as much lows in it. It's tough because it's a yeah, and this piano. Oh, did I just close span? Oh my god. I feel like this is taking up a bit of headroom. I just added mixoscope here. I've already got mixoscope on the other screen. Here it is. So let's bring the volume of this up and just see what it really looks like. Oh, that's okay. Oh, actually, in that competition, there was someone else's tune that I heard, and I was like, oh, well, that's the winner. And then, yeah, it was awesome. I can't remember whose it was. It was like way heavier and darker than mine. It was cool. Okay, I feel like that was a bit more dynamic than it is. It doesn't need any surgery. So this Atmos synth, maybe instead of doing that there, we'll just do a hard cut here. All right, so let's duplicate this channel, and what we'll do... yeah, is we will, in the intros, we'll let it, and the breakdowns, we won't EQ out the guts. In the drops, we will, and that should let... I mean, I could do this by turning it on and off, but oh, look at that little sidechainer. Totally. Oh, let's get rid of that little sidechain there. All these sneaky sidechains hanging around. Get them out. That mean I have some in here on these channels? Yep. Not so much there. Oh, is there one hiding in here? No, we're all good. Whoop. On. Oh, hang on. Was that? No. Fine, that one can stay. I think I did look at these before, didn't I? Yeah. Yeah, cool. That's much better. Gives us just a little more room around that base. Oh, so we can probably... Yeah, usually I like on my synths bus, I like to cut 200 and under, like depending on what's playing. Like sometimes you can get away with like up here, but I just like to make sure there's no sub coming through. Vocal channel, let's, oh, did we sidechain this? We did not sidechain this yet. Oh, and does it need any dynamic control? That looks fine. We still need to blend that sound a lot better. But it's not like we need to control this. Oh, there's a little bit. Yeah, cool. All right, so let's just find our old compressor. I realized after I dragged that one in, I can just drag this one down, and that has all of our settings pre-baked. Cool. Yeah, I'm happy with how the kick has been pitched a little bit, so it sits in this nice gap between the main sub and the rest of... It still comes down a bit lower, but that's fine. Still sort of sounds like it's filtered or a bit odd to me, but I'm... Like, after you've heard something too much in one session, it's really good to just stop paying too much attention to it. Your ear starts to lie to you. Well, your brain starts to lie. I guess your ears don't lie that much. Cool. So this probably sounds a bit silly. Cool. And then, so this dead mouse group, how low does it go? Cool. Make it a bit more background by taking out some of there. That sounded really good with a bit of movement on it. I might come back to that idea, but I don't know how to implement it just yet. Okay, these don't have any load junk in there anyway. Cool. All right, vocals. I feel like this can do with a little bit of All right, now here's where we can get rid of some real muck. Look at all that gone. All right, so hopefully we're back. I'm now setting up again because a power fluctuation caused my computer to die. Oh, it might. Woo! Hey, sorry about that. So I hope it's just going to all reconnect, but there's been a lot of reconnecting going on, so I'm not sure if that's what it will do. You guys will let me know if you can hear me. Go live, manage. Hey, okay, Tiger Lily can hear me. I see my texting. Cool. It says it's live now, and so luckily my wife is making a coffee, so I can resume stream and get a coffee. Live tried to recover my work. I'm not convinced it has because this arrow won't go away. So I don't know what state it's in. Oh. Cool. Awesome. Oh well, now I've got two chat windows. You are crazy, Chrome. You are crazy. I'm going to close the old one. Wow, it's been a real start-stop kind of stream. Sorry about that, everyone. Thanks for hanging in there. It's fun though. How do we get this? What have we adjusted that is automated that it can't recover from? I'm gonna hit save on this. It seems to be working fine, so I'm just gonna roll with it for now. It's got the sidechaining on the effects. Oh, so what I'm doing here is just watching the waveform for anything weird, so anything sticking out too much. So I think the snare is kind of sticking out a bit too much, so I might clip it in its channel. But I'm just listening for and watching for weird stuff. Yeah, so I don't know if I had myself muted when I gave a little explanation just before, but oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Okay. Where's the analytics? Stream health. Stream status poor. You guys will let me know if the video's glitching out, but I don't... OBS says it's fine. And you guys haven't told me that it's dead. So maybe this error is not a real error. Although... Oh. Yeah, I can see that I'm not moving in the downloaded stream. Oh. Oh, okay, sounds fine. Cool. Oh, and the video's working? Like, yeah, YouTube's giving me an error, but oh, maybe I just wasn't moving much in that section. Who knows? I'm just going to have to, so you guys will have to just let me know if it's glitching, because I don't trust that YouTube error thing at all. Cool. Let's get in on these main drums and just clip them. I don't... If we... Okay, cool. Thank you for confirming. Oh, coffee delivery. Hello. Oh. Excellent. All right, we got coffee. That's the way to do it. Yeah, so we can just get some more headroom back by clipping these drums, because look how spiky that is. Out a bit. And then we can just push into this like that's too much, right? So we just bring it down. Much. And then we just get the like apparent volume, perceived volume. Get the perceived volume about the same. Turn off soft clip. Let's try digital clip. So it's a bit of a brick, but oh, we haven't sidechained the basses yet, because I was a bit shy about doing that. Let's just get on with it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just bringing down the release time until we get like a nice amount of pulsing. So this is like way OTT sidechaining initially, and I'm just setting the release time by bringing it down until we kind of get into the region where we can hear the bass sucking and pushing against the drums. And so when it sounds good, we'll then reduce the amount a bit, because I think going full hardcore sidechain on this is just not necessary. It's a liquid tune. It should still breathe. It should just kind of pulse with the drums rather than being completely obliterated by them. And we can probably... oh, look, now YouTube says the stream health is excellent. Weird. So we can probably kind of crunch these up a little. Let's, yeah, there's solo. I just don't think we need to clip this. There's not a lot of dynamics in there anyway. It's just these little turnarounds. Which I might deal with separately. All right, let's not bother with that. Let's label these because they're the same sound, they're just split. So I'm kind of rebalancing this whole thing, but anyway. Let's group all this because it's all just neuros are gone and done. Cool. Now we can kind of like process that as one thing and process these as another. I will bring these back down, not to 10. I think the sub was a bit quiet maybe, although from memory, yeah, maybe not. So let's check this out. There's a vocal somewhere in here, which is awesome. Is it just part of this? Oh, it's part of this. Cool. Well, I feel like we improved the mixdown, but it's going to be so subtle. I almost feel like it's a little too bare around the drums. Let's just play it from the start because we haven't even done that yet today. Thank you. I'm terrible at that, Mike. Awesome, that sort of thins it out a bit there. All right, let's just go through the hit list. Transition is still weird. Okay, I'm going to save that for later because I think that that's a bigger job. Intro kick is too loud. Oh, is it? So I've knocked it down to -9. Yeah, I think it was at -4 before. All right, so let's go to -4.5. Yeah, that feels okay. And it sounds like garbage in here. So, what's that? 100? 100. Why does it sound so garbage in here? Oh, because it's not pitched. And what's happening in here? We're gaining it up, which is good back here. Oh, right, but we're just taking it too far. Cool. Okay, that sort of fixes the intro kicks too heavy. Let's mark those off as done. Oh, we clipped the main drums. One off right at return is excellent. I haven't dealt with that yet. Intro kicks and drop aren't sidechained and are too heavy. So intro kicks too heavy. We've taken care of that. Haven't taken care of that. Not sure if they should be sidechained, but we'll figure that out. Sidechain the returns. Yep, probably clip this. Maybe percussion in. Do with more reverb or far away. Yep, true. Build 2 percussion goes beyond the roll kicks. It is weird. Fill the gap within my mind, maybe. Second half of the return could go really weird. True. End a mix out a bit too staccato. So we fixed that up as well. So like I like making these lists and then just working through the list because that way you do all your like judging in one block and then you just do execution and then you do another round of judging. It makes it easier than like trying to judge and execute simultaneously. So transition from breakdown to build is still weird. I agree. How are we going to fix it? I think it's in the synths channel what goes wrong. So it's that squeak. So that sounds kind of okay, so maybe it's in effects. Ah, so it's in percussion. Okay. Oh, okay, so maybe we just need to filter this in. Cool, and show automation. Okay, so we filter it in and we turn off the filter when we don't need it. So Cool, so that's closer. So maybe we can pull this down. I'm just listening for differences in this effects channel now. Like this rain. Oh, I added this, cool. So I think it just used to be longer, so we can just fade it in, right? Less sudden. Let's see if we can blur the lines between the two sections here. This one can come on in volume, so we just crossfade it in over a nice long period of time. Getting closer, smoothing it out. All right, cool. Let's leave that for now because I think it's kind of as good as we need to get it. If it still sticks out next time around, we can work on it again. One-off ride at return is excellent. It really is. This thing right here. I want it to have delays on it. Hope not always. So let's have that on that one and maybe not on all the others, just so it's this one-off special thing. No one will ever notice that, but whatever. Where's our notes? One-off ride is excellent. I agree. Put it bottom. Intro kicks in drop aren't sidechained. I'm going to deal with that in a second. Sidechain the returns. I'm going to deal with that probably next. Percussion in build breakdown, reverb or faraway rack or something. Totally agree, and that's an easy fix. So let's get in there. These hats. I think it's just something like that, like really simple. Just wash them out and push them to the background because they want them keeping time, but not way up front like that. Yeah, and it looks like at one point I had the intent of ducking the volume. I think that's a good intent. Is it going down to, yeah, go hard. There we go. Let's get that. -5 and a bit. Cool. All right, let's just say that that's done for now because it'll come back around if it's a problem later. Fill gap within my mind. Yeah, so this end of this build. I've kind of got this idea that if we grab the in my mind vocal and dump it in that gap, we might get something interesting happen. Just grab a new channel. Okay, we're gonna need, oh, what? Oh, gee, frick. Cool. In my mind, redrop. I don't know why it sounds so mangled when this one doesn't. Yeah, it's just volume. Wow. Okay. Let's hit save on this. I wonder if I've got another vocal which says in my mind that we can use.
Those happy days still remain in my mind.
I don't have any that are labeled in my mind. I wonder where we got... I didn't get this sample. Elemental picked this sample, so I don't know where he got it from to get a cleaned up one. A lot of muck in it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. I kind of want to clean it up. Like, I had in my head like a really like, yeah, like pitched down, wobbly, busted, you know, drug affected version of it. But I want it to be a bit cleaner. There's just so much reverb to it. Because we can put like Alter Boy on it and do some pitching with it. I'll get rid of that EQ. Yeah, like. I think it's just kind of too far gone. Ooh. Oh yeah, and that is a main vocal stab. I think that is actually that's going to end up not being there, but I wonder if we... Yes, I want to keep the clips current timing. Timing's all weird, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that that's resolvable the way I want it to be. So let's... I quite like the emptiness there. Maybe it's just going to work out. Let's... We've certainly stopped that from happening, and we attempted that. I don't think it works, so we'll just leave it switched off for now. Second half of return could go really weird. Yes, it could. Intro drops, kicks in drop aren't sidechained. Okay, let's drink everything. So do we need to sidechain stuff in here? First up, let's look at Smexoscope. The levels go weird. Something is wrong. A channel somewhere has an input turned on. Probably the channel I was just mucking around. Oh man, what's the fastest way to find this? Probably session view. Yeah, sure. So I think there's feedback happening, which is what explains that phasing sound. I think one of these channels will be set to monitor in. We just need to set it to auto or off. Oop. Ah. Why does it sound phasey and weird? Is it just the snare? Oh, I've turned on the snare channel. There's kicks. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, right, okay. I know how that happens, right? Yeah, it's gonna sound a little bit better if everything does pulse to that a little. So we're just going to duplicate this sidechain here. This is intro sidechain, and we just changed the sidechain parameter to come from intro drums. Kind of aren't. Yeah, we'll do it properly. So we get sidechain trigger and we'll just drag it into anywhere here. Mess with the IO and all notes it triggered and turn it off. And now our percussion can come from sidechain trigger. Yeah, and we'll just have a little bit of sidechaining, not OTT, but something to just squish everything around it. It'll sound good. I'm just going to dump this on every channel and see if it's good. Come back around and do another pass to tidy it up. Cool. Ah. It does sound better, but we need to automate the threshold. So let's take it off every one of these because it's triggering even when we can't hear the intro kick yet. I wonder if there's a way to control that a bit, but let's just fake it. Like we could use velocity instead of volume automation on here. Get kind of the same effect out of it, but let's just fake it by moving the threshold around. Show automation, and I'll have to just kind of yeah, we can totally try that. We'll try it in a second. I just want to get this. Where is it going to be most audible? It's going to be most audible on the synths, I think. Let's see if it works here. Yeah, that's okay. It sounds a little bit like it's too heavy, but we'll see what it sounds like once it's on everything. Basses. All right, let's see. So now what I'm watching for in here is just what it looks like in this drop, whether the drums look like they're overpowering or sort of just, yeah, looking to see if anything sticks out to me, really. No real intent. I reckon the intro drums almost look like they're too loud still, and I bet it's to do with this EQ. This is Smexoscope. It is a really old plugin and it is not well supported. Smexoscope. Yeah, so it is available in 64-bit from here. Yeah. Otherwise, it's been around for years and it's a 32-bit. There are different oscilloscopes. I just got used to this one over a year or two, so I use it now. Yeah, the intro kick winds up being as loud as the main drums, which... Oh, right, louder even. Okay, cool, I see what's going on. Let's grab our saturator, dump it on intro drums. That should clip the kick nicely. Let's see what that looks like in Smexoscope. Should be a lot more controlled. Cool. Compared to yeah, so it's getting clipped just towards the end of the roll. Maybe not even. Okay, cool. Let's bring this down like -8, so that it's. I want it to be noticeably quieter than the main drums. All right, so maybe -6. Yeah, I feel better about that. Cool. I'm going to save this as a new project because I just have zero faith that Ableton is saving this stuff properly. Refined. Cool. Let's try reloading this project and see if we can get rid of that red arrow that won't go away. It's freaking me out that I'm going to work another 2 hours on this and then it's going to just say, surprise, I didn't save anything. What's left on the hit list? Intro kicks aren't sidechains. They really did need to be. I'm glad that I persisted. Sidechain the returns. Yep, we can do that. Second half of return could go really weird. I agree with that. I'm going to try something on the master and just see if it sounds like a good idea in terms of the arrangement over time. And if it seems like a good idea still, then we'll get a little more refined with it. Oh, cool. So there's still a couple of FabFilter plugins hanging around. They're not on the master, are they? And they're not on the send, so they're just tucked away in some of these channels. I'm going to put that on the to-do list. I don't feel like we're missing anything Oh, this sidechain. Yeah, it sucks. And like that red light just would not turn off, and now it's fine. So it's obviously Ableton just got confused, which is fine because it crashed. You know, it's going to happen. It's software. But yeah, I'm not, unless it's behaving properly, I'm not trusting it. Cool. So we've got, I'm going to change tack real quick. I've copied both of the sidechainers. Let's put them on all of these returns. I'm not even going to listen to it because I'm pretty confident it's subtle enough. And that'll just duck our return channels as well. I did not find any of those plugins. I think they're in the vocals. Right, so Q3, what can that be doing really? This channel. De-essing, don't need it. I think that this comes across even in the mix, like. Okay, so it was 11 dB quieter and I turned it way up and it sounds better. A little too loud. Still too loud. Maybe still too loud. That's subtle, it's just in there. Cool, I don't think we need those. Let's just get rid of them. I don't know what they were. Obviously this was started off as someone else's project, so plugins and stuff I don't have, which cool. Save. Yeah, when you lose 2 hours of Abletoning, it feels bad, hey? Although once or twice I've been in that position and then I've rebuilt what I came up with really fast and it's worked out, I think, better. So. Yeah, so I reckon after the build and the peak section, which I still need to work on the dead mousey sounds, I think we've attacked the removed plugins and I think we've attacked the sidechain reverbs. Yeah, so this second half of the return, like we could go really weird on here because at this point we've heard all this stuff before and we're about to hear it all over again. So this would be an interesting spot to just go totally wacko. As a temporary measure, I'm grouping all that. I'm going to put a frequency shifter on. And we're just going to force it to go weird and see what that feels like. I think maybe and we can vary this lead as it comes back down. Oh. I feel like it should just climb. Yeah, so I think that's better for the end of that because it kind of resolves onto that E. Then we don't even need to, doesn't imply that it's going to come back around. And we might be able to copy that back over here. Okay, so let's listen from the breakdown and see what this section getting loose feels like. Yeah, I reckon that was really good. So let's okay, so let's just copy this onto every channel except the basses. Because on the basses we're going to do something different, and then obviously I need to put this for all the sidechain. This is sort of why I used to sidechain using Ascend. Maybe I should go back to it. Makes it way easier to know that your sidechain comes last. Local. Oh. Yeah, so if we get this tune finished enough today, I'll have to talk to Elemental about how he wants to put it out, because I think it's really been a collaborative tune. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe we'll self-release it, make it a free download somewhere. I don't know. Maybe we'll try and get it on a compilation somewhere. That would be cool. But kind of up to him, because he started it. It's really... oh, whoops. Ungroup. Right. I think it's pretty cool, even just taking effect on the background. Pretty interesting, and it might be fun to kind of wind up some sort of tension type Oh, on the bases so that it drops back down into here. Yeah. Okay, so let's grab tension rack on, which is my reinterpretation of one of Elemental's cool racks. Or maybe we just wind this up. We can end this note a little bit early. Yeah, I reckon that's pretty nice. Gotten confused again. Yeah, it could go really weird for lulz, and I quite like it. Let's grab that, chuck it down in the bottom because we've finished it. Peak could use a different synth, so I think that's. Oh yeah, let's fix the sidechain in all of these channels because oh cool. Well, that makes things easy. I just need to copy that automation over. Oh yeah, I'd never copied it. Cool. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. I might need another break because I'm feeling a bit fatigued. In another hour and a half. Intro, sidechain. But yeah, we'll finish this round of changes, then we'll see where we're at. Good sign when the melody gets stuck in your head. Cool. Yeah, like just then I thought I'd clicked on the right channel, but I hadn't. Actually a good sign. I need a bit of a, maybe even some lunch. Let's see what that sounds like now. Cool, so in these synths, we've got this little deadmau5 synth, and I really like this second half of it, but I'm not sold on the first half. It just kind of starts out of nowhere. I don't even start on an E. Yeah, it does, but it just kind of like... Maybe I'll copy that over. Without its automation. Cool. I really like this section of it, and I don't love this section of it. So we do use this. Oh, that's an audio chunk. Okay, cool. Let's duplicate it. And I'm going to try varying it a lot in this first half and just see if we can make something completely different. Delete automation. Delete all of this automation. That. I wonder if we can pitch this plus 12 so it's a proper. No. Nope. I don't think that we can unless we move the, probably don't have note affecting the cutoff. We can give it a little. So we can kind of blur the lines between these two sounds by fading between them. Group this. One, edit, max 0, and show automation. Cool. So we can have this way down low. Oh, whoops. 0, right. Yeah, I quite like that. This still feels a bit ropey. And now that it isn't playing exactly the same thing for 32 bars, it doesn't sound like it needs the automation. The peak, the first beat is off. Yeah, right. It is off. I don't know what we're going to do about that. It might be the base movement that's throwing the timing out. Doesn't sound like it's in time. Okay, just keep moving it till it feels right. Now let's see if we can extend this note. I'm trying to phase align these a little bit so that we can crossfade and it won't be too obvious. Yeah, it's too obvious. Might be able to take the tops out of this. And so the snare happens here, right? Maybe we don't need that. I reckon we want just a little pakat. Eighths. I always overcomplicate these things, but oh wow. And I want a bit of noise there, so we need some noise. Granular. Noise, surely. I just want it to be really short. I'm just going to make my own. Why is that phasing? Is there weird? Oh, right, yeah, because it's in that weird group. Cool. Fine. Right. Animation up. Oh, that's tricky. Okay, cool. So let's take that out of the group that is phasing. Make it way longer. Fade this. I think we're probably going to want to reverb it pretty heavily. Stereo, yep, cool. Then we'll take off the bottoms. We need to group this. FX, no phase. All right. And then we need to grab the sidechains from this. Copy them, shove them on here. Oh, what? Why did they get no input? Intro drums. I need to check all of the others now. That's main drums. Okay. Intro drums. Yeah, I think they're all working. All right. Oh, the first hit of this. Oh my god, my ears feel so crushed. All right, I'm gonna see if this is improved. So to me, it sounds like maybe there's a limiter or a compressor or something that's not catching a peak. It sounds really loud. So maybe we can just be gangsters and give it just like a little duck. A little duck. Accident. But like 3 dB. I'm starting to feel like the snare is overall too loud, spooky or something, so I'm very wary of making big changes while I know my ears are tired. And I'm just gonna like do this thing that I keep wanting to do, and I know it's gonna break stuff. Trigger, get rid of that. All right, we've got keys everywhere. Consuming CPU for nothing. Short fade, but cool. So let's maybe eighths. Cool. I just want to do some weird stuff like this, little fills and rolls. I just think it's going to increase the interest and the pace through these sections. So let's some of these around. Too busy. Cool. I feel like that's that. Save. That might be my stream for the day. 4 hours feels good. Oh, I've closed note battery. Okay, cool. I'm going to listen to this once through, but I think my ears are fried, so that might be it after that. Let's have a listen. Felt like I heard what was wrong in this synth thing. Please don't break. Cool. Okay, what are you doing? This guy. Let's just get rid of that note. Nah, it kind of needs to be there. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to solve it today. My ears are stuffed. Cool. That is a good little stream. Let's save that file. Thank you. Let's shrink all these groups. So these Atmos, oh yeah, they're all in one group anyway. Good. And we got a lot of sidechains kicking around. They all are doing slightly. They're all good. Yeah, I think my brain's fried, so I think that's it. Time for lunch. Have a great rest of day, night, week, whatever it is, wherever you are. Thanks for hanging in there. I feel like we've made some huge progress on this tune today, so I feel much better about where we're leaving it. And maybe next week, another 2 or 3 hours, and it will be done. I'll get in touch with Elemental and send him a copy of it. Actually, I'll export it now. Don't forget to do that. (32-bit), and that way I can chuck it through a limiter before I send it to him. Yeah, cool. All right, well, that's going to end the stream. Thanks for hanging in there. Catch you guys on Discord, for those that are on Discord. Haven't recorded a video for next week yet, so there'll be one on Monday or Tuesday, but I need to figure out what it is yet. And I will talk to Tiger Lily about some other stuff. And yeah, that's all I can remember that I needed to mention. No one's watching the full 4 hours apart from Tiger Lily, so Tiger Lily already knows what I'm up to at the moment, so all good. I will catch you guys on the next stream or the next video that you see from me, and thanks for hanging in there. Like, subscribe, all that silly stuff. See you on the other side. Bye.